Shake it, 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 shake it like a Polaroid picture. Shake it, 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 shake it like a Polaroid picture.
Trailhead full of zombies. I met a strange lady, she made me nervous. She took me in and gave me breakfast. And she said, do you come from a land down under? Where women go and men wonder. Can't you hear the thunder? You gotta run, you gotta take cover. We are living in a land down under. Women go and men wonder. Can't you thunder? You better take cover.
Oh, hello everybody. Hey, it's Casper here. Just doing another little Aussie rules here from my studio here in Brisbane, Australia. My studio. It's my bedroom. How is everybody? Yeah, I haven't done a podcast since early last month, 4 weeks ago, a little bit more. Anyway, I am going to pre-record this one, and then I will stick it on. I'll stream it. I'll stream it through Periscope tomorrow. It doesn't work real well because people think you're live, and it throws it off a little bit. Hang on, I don't even like this this screen, to be completely honest with you. I seem to have lost something. Yeah, let's put this here. This looks better. I don't know what happened, but this screen. So the last few Aussie rules I've been doing, I've been getting like a little whining noise happening in the stream, through the audio, through the headphones, and it's been driving me nuts. And I didn't know what it was, and I didn't really get into it that much, but I unplugged plugs and mucked around with cords, and there's a lot of cords too. I'm running a little mixer. Don't really need to. I can be doing it other ways. And then through another little box, and then that plugs into USB. And my computer has got so many things plugged in. But what it ended up being was I just unplugged the main USB cable that the mixer goes into the box. I forgot the name of it, what it does, but I plugged it into a different USB. First I tried to plug it into the side USB. It didn't really work. So then I took it back around the back of the computer and put it in the top, separate from where all the others were. And I've probably got about 8 USB connections on the back, and there's 2 at the side. But the ones at the side I usually just use for the phone chargers and stuff like that. So anyway, I think I fixed it. And I could just do a quick preview on Periscope and stream out of OBS just to check, but I'm pretty confident it's going to work fine. The audio levels look okay to me. So let's just hope that it comes through okay. But anyway, yeah, it's good to get back on the mic. I must admit that I think I say this every friggin' podcast, but I'm doing sort of less and less podcasts and just sort of doing other real life stuff. You know, it never was meant to be anything of any size. It was just me talking, and you know, I've been doing other things. I've been watching a hell of a lot of Periscopes. You know, I've heard other people talk about Periscope and how some people say Periscope's dying and all this and that, but I don't know. I've been watching and listening to different people's Periscopes. I find it interesting what other people... And I probably need to get more involved. I actually haven't been a guest on any Periscope yet. I wasn't sure if I needed to have headphones in when you're a guest on another person's scope. I wasn't sure. So most of the time, because of the time difference between here and everywhere else, most of the time I'm watching replays, and I might just go to bed like an hour early or something. I might go to bed at 10 o'clock or something, and I'll go like, well, I'll listen to a couple of Periscopes or something like that, and sometimes I fall asleep. But yeah, different people's Periscopes. Now, a lot of people I know come from the common interest from Howard Stern, for instance. Here's a good example. From Howard Stern, I was listening to Howard Stern back when Artie was doing the show, so I wasn't there for the Jackie period, or really the Stuttering John period or anything like that, but I've learnt the history. Anyway, you know, Howard Stern has the Whack Pack, and you've got like Wendy the retard, or now Wendy the slow adult. She's on Periscope now, and there's I can probably tell you a little story that's happened on Periscope with Wendy. And also Hanzi's on Periscope. Hanzi's I tell you what, Hanzi might have his problems and difficulties and stuff that I'm sure you know, say, you know, you go, I'm fucked up, you know. But to be honest with you, like, he's got a big heart, like, especially as far as helping out Wendy and stuff like that, which I really do like. And I haven't even had a conversation with Hanzi, because I really probably should, because I don't want him jumping to some conclusions that he thinks I'm a government agent or anything, because that's what he does. And I don't want him... One thing I don't want him to think is that fucking Jimin has sent me over there or something like that, because I previously was a watcher of Jim and them until things went a bit south. So anyway, Wendy's on Periscope, and Wendy. For those that don't know, Wendy was in a car accident with her mother, from everything that I've listened to, and she damaged her leg, and she had to have her leg operated on. I don't know exactly what was wrong with it, but she's in a wheelchair now. Anyway, she started to Periscope from what she originally said was a hospital, but it's actually a nursing rehab center in Florida. And I have been keeping an eye because of that hurricane that was going through there. She had to be moved to some other facility. I think she said it was Jacksonville or something like that. But I don't even know how far away that was. But yeah, and she's been scoping, and then I've been listening to Hanzi, and then I started to get the gist of this story here, that Wendy's always asking for donations. Wendy's not a very well off lady, and obviously she can always use a few extra dollars, and a lot of people want to help her. But the story was going around that it was seen. I haven't seen the evidence or any proof, but a couple of people were talking about that she was giving her money to Jiminan, which I'm really, really surprised about, because Jiminan might be a lot of things, but I wouldn't think he'd take Wendy's money. I don't know but apparently she's donated to him because she's Wendy, and she probably doesn't really understand too much. I don't think that Jiminan is manipulating her. I don't think it's like, Wendy, you must give me all your money type thing. But there's been other situations too, and I'll touch on that in a second. But Hanzi's absolutely spot on when he says that people are not going to donate to Wendy, whether it be $5, $10, who cares? Who wants to donate if it's not going to that person? If that person is gifting it to someone else, it's not really good. And there was a scope that Wendy did that Hanzi brought to a couple of people's attention. One of them was a nice lady that I recognized her voice. I think she's I think she's known to be Jennifer or something. I don't know if that's even like her real name or anything, but I recognize her from the other mob that I used to chat with, or actually it was Jiminan's sort of crew or supporters, fans, whatever you want to say, when he was doing like a daily show before he just shit on everybody. I'm pretty sure she was one of them, along with Kenny and Kitty and all that sort of stuff. So they're all cool people. And though Hanzi was talking to Jennifer, and there was another guy, but I didn't recognize him. I didn't know where he was from, but he was just a bit of a Hanzi fan or whatever. And Hanzi was saying how two nurses walked up to her and said, "Wendy, can you give me 2 singles?" So I'm assuming they're still using $1 bills over there. We don't do that over here. We have dollar coins, $2 coins, and then $5 note. And Wendy said, yeah, Wendy had like money on her, which was a little bit unusual. And then the nurses were asking her to make it rain, and she was throwing money around. And then it appeared from what Wendy was showing, not on purpose, just from what the camera was showing, that the nurses then took the money. And that sort of bothers me and worries me a little bit, because Wendy doesn't know. I don't know if Wendy knows any better. And so, yeah, I don't know whether Wendy is still in the Jacksonville. Is it Jacksonville, I think she said? Whether she's still in that facility, or whether they've moved her back, because that hurricane didn't hit land, as far as I know. It went up the coast or something. So I don't know whether they've been moved back. And then while she was at this facility, one of the nurses came up and basically told her that she couldn't Periscope, that she was either being too loud or whatever. Wendy probably doesn't realize that she could probably put headphones in and knock that on the head, but she got very upset, and then she went off and then we didn't see her. I didn't see her on Periscope for like a day and a half, maybe 2 days or something like that. And then tonight, my time tonight, I saw her back on there, and so I don't know where she is or how she's got around being able to Periscope again. But I'm really happy that she is, because the lady obviously it's a nursing. It's sort of a nursing back to health type centre, but there's another Periscope I listened to, which I think Hanzi was talking to Kitty. They're sort of thinking that she's sort of like there permanently. It might be her sort of permanent thing, and maybe no one's sort of explained it to her. I'm really not sure. I don't want to speculate, but I sort of hope a little bit that all the entertainment that Wendy's given Howard Stern over the years, and I've laughed. I've laughed big time listening to some of that stuff. I really hope that he can maybe help out a little bit, but then when I think of the history of this sort of thing, I don't think he will help at all. I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But, take for example when Scott the engineer's wife, had cancer and we all donated. We all fucking donated, man. Like, that guy was so funny. And he'd been working there for a long time and been married a long time, and I saw his GoFundMe or whatever, and I donated. I think it was $10 or something. I mean, it always cost me like 3/4 more or whatever. So I remember donating to her or whatever, and then it wasn't long after that she passed away and that sort of thing. And I haven't seen... I Googled if Scott was still there. I'm assuming that he still has to work for a living, even though he's lost his wife. And from what I could read, I could see that he's working on a different floor now. So, yeah, it's unusual, but he's just gone off the air, And it's amazing how lots of things just disappear, like that Howard used to do. Take for instance, all the shows. For instance, like there used to be lots of shows on I think he calls it Howard 101 or something. And you think back, guys, if you're a Howard Stern show listener, and I know the new stuff's not as good as the old stuff, but there is a little bit of the new stuff thrown in that's sort of similar to the old stuff. You just sort of like gotta zoom through. Like for me, I can't get the show. I tried legally and properly and morally to contact them and say, hey, what we need is just to be able to log in, like pay a subscription fee. I don't care what it is. What is it? $20 a month? $30 a month? Whatever. I don't care. If it's 50, even if it works out more for me, I don't care. I want convenience. So what I wanted to do was I said to them, I think it was Sirius or whatever back. This was years ago. I said, I want to just be a subscriber. I want to pay my money. You can take it straight out of PayPal every month, just like my mobile phone people do and all that sort of stuff. I said, and I want to be able to just log into your website and I want to just download the show. I don't want to listen live. I don't want to stream it on and I have to sit in front of the computer for 3-4 hours, whatever. Nope. I want to download the show, like I do with a lot of stuff out here in Australia. I want to download the show. I drop it on my iPhone, and then I listen in the car and I listen at work with my headphones and stuff like that at my convenience, because it takes me ages to get through 3 shows. A lot of the interviews I'm not interested in, so sometimes I skip the interviews. But you know what? They can't do it. And in fact, if you try to get a free trial from here, it's blocked. I probably could use a VPN maybe, and maybe I could join up that way. But it's so that you can't download the show, or you stream the show or something, or you got to have the app. You can't even get the app on the phone because they know where I am. It's fucked. It's completely fucked. So the only way I get the show is I got to look for it illegally. I got to download it illegally and then drop it on the phone. And the thing is, I'm listening to Monday's show on fucking Friday or something. I'm that far behind. It's fucked up. It's really fucked up. It's not fair. So anyway, so yeah, I also just as of late, guys, and I know there's a couple of people that might be interested in this. Just keep in the back of their head that Jiminan is popping up again, and he's I have no idea. I thought he was off doing his little misery box Reddit things, which I don't understand at all. But I know it's catered for young people, so that fucking rules me out. But I don't understand much what he's doing. I don't know if he's monetized. I don't know whether he's making any money. But I mean, the guy got banned off YouTube. Okay, let's stick to just facts here, right? He got banned off YouTube for various fucking things, right? But he got back on. And a lot of people have said, hey, you've banned this guy like 1 or 2 times, like, and he's back here. Like, if he got monetization and he's getting like, I haven't got it up, but if he's getting like, he was getting lots of views on his videos or whatever he does, and I thought, wow, look at those views. Fuck, that's fucking pretty good. But I don't know if he's monetized because that shit takes a long time to sort out, to be approved. YouTube, I think is owned by Google, but they were spending way too much money. Like even myself, I made a lot of money off monetization. I took all my stuff off because I wanted to sort of refresh it all, and I haven't bothered. I mean, it doesn't worry me. It's just pocket money. I haven't bothered putting anything up there other than my podcasts, which are can't be monetized anyway because I use copyrighted music, which is okay to use, but you can't make any money off it, which is fine. I'm not interested in making it. I don't need to make any money off it. So, but yeah. So and then yeah, I followed Hanzi. I listened to Hanzi. Hanzi's you know, sitting in his basement and then you know, okay, he's he thinks people. I mean, there's people there that are pretty fucking mean. I can't do that stuff. I don't understand why people do that. But then again, maybe they're just like, they're not using, like, I've been using Casper, so I go into everything as Casper. You know, I've only got one account. I've only got one Twitter. I've only got one Google login thing, the only thing that's private, that's different than everything, is my own Facebook page. You know, I don't even have a Casper Facebook page. I think I was gonna do it once so that I could add people to that, because I believe that you need, like, keep that personal life separate. Although, in saying that, I have broken that rule. There is a couple of people that are on my private Facebook page that I trust, so I guess I have crossed over a little bit, but I try to keep it separate, although I don't hide. If anybody ever comes to Brisbane that I've watched or listened to or know, and they're coming for a holiday, I'm more than happy to meet up and have a beer. It's no problem at all. I don't have any problems with anybody. Like, I mean, I have opinions, and there is a few people that I really don't care too much about. But other than that, I'm happy to meet anyone. I remember there was someone that was actually I was going to meet up with that was out of the Kermit Town community, I guess you could say. But he bailed, I think. Yeah, I can't really say too much because I can't dox him in any way. But yeah, he travels around, let's say, and I was gonna meet him, and then he just didn't answer back, and then he was off, and I was, it didn't happen. But if he, it doesn't matter. Now, let's change the topic a little bit here. So every time I do my podcast, I give you guys the whole fucking boring update about how I'm going with my soccer. Okay, I play old man's over 45 soccer, right? Anyway, we've been struggling the whole year, but having fun. We get a win every now and then, but we probably, every 3 games we'll probably only win 1. So, but we've been playing well towards the end of the season. Although we had a couple of forfeits, but we had a win before it and a win after it, and then anyway. So, I haven't got it up on the screen, but as it turned out, there was this one team called Dad's Army, they call themselves. They've got lovely names. and they pretty much won most of their games. They probably dropped a few games. They didn't do the table properly. I'm going to do it myself next year because I'm pretty good at that sort of thing. So I haven't got this information, but they won a lot of games. Let's just say they roughly finished on, you get 3 points for a win and all that sort of stuff. They roughly finished on 40 something points. All right, so they basically won they probably won like 13, 14 games or whatever. Then another team called Rebels, they finished that there was a big gap between first and then the rest of the teams, right? The other three. So then there was the Rebels, they finished on about 30 points, and then there was Legends on around 25 points, and then my team on 21 points or something like that, right? So we come last, right, out of 4. Or I'd rather say we came fourth. But anyway, we came last, right? So then last week, the organizer, he says, "Hey, Daz, I'm thinking of doing 1v4, 2v3 for the semis." All right? So for you that are not sure what I mean, that's first versus fourth, second versus third. The 2 winners go into the final. So there's only one semi week. And then the final. So the 2 winners go into the final. The 2 losers play for the second place type thing. I went, oh, okay, yep, fine. So here we are. We got to take on the best team in the comp. So anyway, during the week, I was because the organizer knows me. He goes, "Dazza, who are you? What ring-ins are you bringing in?" Because we've had a few people like that used to play for us have a spare Friday night every now and then when they don't have a buy. When they have a buy, they've gone on to play maybe a little bit more or very much more competitive soccer than what this comp is. So most of us that play in this over 45s just want to have a run around and keep fit and social aspects of it and that sort of thing. So we're a pretty good bunch. So what happened was I couldn't get anyone that had played with us before, and to boot, my best mid defender is in Turkey, doing quite I forgot what he was doing, martial arts or something, something, and my keeper, who's a great little keeper, he drives a bus and he drives interstate, so he drives from fucking Brisbane all the way down to Canberra, like on people doing bus trips and stuff. Like, I don't know what the fuck, you drive all the way to Canberra. What, to fucking ski? I'm not quite sure. I know it's fucking cold down there. So he said to me in August, he goes, "Daz, I'm going to be away for most of September." And I didn't know how far this comp was going to go. And then suddenly the last couple of weeks, the organizer just basically finished it up, or is finishing it up. So anyway, I rock out. Oh yeah. And then last week, not the Friday just gone, the one before, one of my guys goes down in fucking pain. Can't move him. Won't let us move him. His legs fucked. His knees fucked. They reckon they saw something poking out the side, and then it went back in or something like that. Had to call the ambulance. So we called the ambulance, and he got carted away. He's got ACL, MCL damage. Oh, fuck. Great. And he's a good player. So we lost him. So during last week, I just basically scrambled the troops and said, "Mate, we'll just have to play with who we got and do our best." And because often if we can't get a lot of the teams can't even get 9 together on the night. Sometimes we can borrow players that want to have a second game or something, but most of the time, one full hard game is enough for almost anybody. So it's very rare that we are able to borrow players. But anyway, so we only had 8 players. So I encouraged the other team to borrow players, and then what I did was I brought my reserve keeper. I brought him out of the goals, and I borrowed the other teams that had played before us. I borrowed their keeper because he's really fucking great. And I said to Mitch, I said, "Mate, you want to help us get through, so we play you guys. We knock these guys out." Trying being a bit. I maybe I was being a bit unrealistic when I said that, because we hadn't beaten this team the whole season. We had a draw with them once, but we never beat them. So Mitch goes, yeah, man, I'd love to help you. I went, oh, fuck, this is great. So I brought my keeper out, put him in defence, because we were sadly missing defence. It was only me and Tony, and then there was no one else. Like, would have had to bring a midfielder back, and that just hinders our striking power. So anyway, we ended up having... well, then they said, oh, we've only got 8, but that's okay, you guys play 8 in a sub. And I went like, that's perfect. That fucking suits me to the ground, having a sub, so that I can get a 5-minute rest, or some of my other defenders that... Because I play with a guy who's like 65 years old, and he does really, really well. He's a really good player. He understands how to play defence, but he's not the fastest guy. And if we get hammered too much defending, like, you get tired really quickly. Anyway, tell a long story short, we smashed them. We absolutely smashed them, 3-0. And even though I was so happy to just go from 4th last place straight into the final against Rebels next Friday night, and I've already got a full team. Actually, I'm going to have 10. I'm going to have 9 on the field, and then I've got a guy that used to play for us. He's going to come, and he's an awesome defender. And I'll have my main defender back. So there's no excuses for us next Friday night, but I'm not taking it for granted. I'm going to give it everything. I'm probably not going to pull up too well. I got smashed the other night. I was over the far side, bouncing ball, trying to keep it in, and I went up to try to stop the ball, and this guy just came barreling through and collected and like basically hit me with his boot right under my shin, and I've got bruising right to the bone and a little lump there and stuff. So I'm hoping that I'll recover. I'm currently taking everything I can to recover in time. I've got this triple action joint restore that I often take that seems to help me. They're friggin' size of a horse tablet, but I try to swallow them, and they seem to work for me. See, I have really, really weird recovery, because I think I've spoken about this in my previous podcast, is that I have like chronic fatigue syndrome, and I have bursts of energy, and if the energy bursts happen at the right time, I go really, really well, and I feel normal. But most of the other time, I'm dead tired. I'm rubbing my eyes. Can't see properly. The light's too bright. Everyday lights are too bright. It's fucking sad. I go to work. I'm having trouble with my eyes. I've got bad lighting in my office. I'm afraid to fix the bad lighting in case it gets too bright, if that makes any sense. I'm always wearing my sunnies. I can't drive to work. I can't drive at all without my sunnies. At all. I'm squinting and everything's too bright. I went to the optometrist. We call it OPSM here, or it can also be called Saver Specs, or Spec Savers. I go to OPSM, had my eyes checked. They're pretty much leveled out. One's worse than the other. My glasses are doing the job okay for close-up reading. But she told me that my eyes are too dry, so I've got to go and get the spray. I didn't realise that you don't actually spray it into your eye. Like, I thought you had to spray it in your eye and like lubricate your eyelid, but she actually just said to spray it like all around. You can spray it in the eye, but you can also just spray it around the eye, and it will absorb in. She just said my whole eyes are just too dry, and often I get that raccoon dulling, bruising look like under the eye, which normally like indicates how tired you are or something like that. That's just like normal for me. I could sleep like fucking 2 days, 12 hours a day. I still had that under my eye. Can't seem to get rid of it. So whether I feel good or not. So yeah, it's a bit of a struggle. Hey, so and I have other issues as well that I don't really want to get into, but I inherited some poor bowel issues that are as I get older, is getting worse. So yeah, not without its challenges, but you just suck it up and do the best you can. We're all got certain things wrong. Not everyone talks about it, but So yeah, I'm hoping for the best next Friday night. So what I was thinking of doing was, I was thinking of getting down there like a little bit early and then making sure the guys stretch and that. And I might do a very quick periscope of the guys warming up. So I won't like, obviously I've got to concentrate whatever, but I'll see what I can do. I've been wanting to do this during the year, but I'm always afraid of like the doxing thing. I'm always afraid that like you'll do a video and then like you'll video a sign or something, and then some asshole will look it up and work out exactly where you are, and then not so much dox you, but make life uncomfortable, tell people where you are and this and that. And I know people that do that sort of thing, and it's just not cool. So I try not to do too much. And like even when I'm driving now, we're doing the Riding with Casper periscope, so I'll just do audio. My video on my phone, I used to have it so that like it just looked at the traffic coming on the other way and people could just look at the road. But then the same thing, you'll see signs, whatever, and people will go, oh yeah, I know where this guy is. I mean, it's no big secret. It's no big secret that I live in Northside Brisbane in Australia. I mean, it's no big secret. But people just like to fuck with you. There's people out there. But anyway, another thing too, like I was gonna talk to my friend Jeff Count from Toronto, but he's 2.5 days late with an appointment that I had with him. And I said to him early last week, I think it was Monday, I think it was. I said, Jeff, I'll be home early on Friday because it's my early day, and that's your Thursday night. It'll be probably late Thursday night. It'll be like, and he goes, anytime you want to talk, I'm here. Okay, beautiful. I said, well, when I get home on Friday, I said, I will come in the house, I will immediately set up, get changed, get a drink, whatever, sit down, do all the settings, and I'll call you. Alright, so I'll just click on him. I called him at 1:32 p.m. my time. That's pretty late Thursday night. It's like 12 o'clock or something, roughly. And without saying too much, I don't think he's working at the moment. And he basically said he's free all the time. So I left a voice message on Friday. It's now Sunday night, and I didn't even hear back from him. I think I sent him a Twitter DM too. So I hope he's okay. That's the first thing. It's not absolutely super important that we talk all the time, but we try to catch up. Well, I'd like to try to catch up every week also with my friend Jeff. He's a good guy. And I'm hoping that... I'm not sure if he'll be able to do Aussie rules. I'm not sure. I'll have to talk to him about that. But I hope he's okay, and I hope he's doing well. So, and anyway, like I said to you before about the Howard Stern connection, I've been listening to some of the old stuff, old shows that used to be on there. I can't remember if I mentioned this before or whether I was just thinking about it when I was having a spa just a little while ago. There used to be heaps of shows on Howard 101 that used to fill the time especially when he was on holidays or whatever. And he seems to be on holidays all the fucking time. He's had another 2 weeks or something. And there's nothing now. There's nothing but like Stern stuff himself. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. There used to be a show called, Back Office Radio. And then Tracy did a show when she worked there. And there was the Intern Show. And then there was what was it called? The fucking Round Table, whatever it was called. And then there was Black on Black, for instance. Which of those two guys were funny. And then there was a Chuck Zito. And then there was heaps of shows that would fill in all those different times, right? And he's down to only doing 3 days. Stern's only doing 3 days a week. Like, it's not like there's plenty of time. The only thing that's consistent through all those times that I've listened is his actual show and the wrap-up show. All the other shows have just been fucking axed. I mean, whether or not, like, oh no, we'll just take all the budget that we had. Remember the Riley Martin show? Oh fuck, that was funny. I should download some of those. Actually, I think I do have some. But if anybody wants any of those random black on black shows or Tuxedo, I have a lot of them on external hard drive that I downloaded and I can't put them up anywhere because I don't want to be copyrighted striked and all that sort of stuff for that sort of stuff. Like trying to help people, it's not really worth it. Like I know there's heaps of Stern stuff on YouTube now. I watch some of it like every week. A lot of it I've seen, but a lot of stuff I re-watch. Like High Pitch Mike when he won that TV. I watched that the other night, and fucking and Langford fucking showed up like a year later at the guy's house, and he still hadn't opened the TV, and Langford wanted to know why and wanted to come into his apartment, and fucking High Pitch Mike was going off his head. This guy stalking me and all that sort of shit. I don't want you in my apartment, Steve. It was so funny. It was so fucking funny. Anyway, also, what brings me on to this other subject is I was listening to Tuxedo, and this was from back in, let me see, this was back, I'd have to go, hang on, I dropped a few on my phone. So I started to listen to Tuxedo. Looks like, this is my time format, 15th of the 8th, 2011. So you guys read it as 08, 15, 11. And Charlie Sheen was on there, which is a fucking huge guest. Huge person to have on Tuxedo when, he barely sort of came on with Howard that many times. But anyway, Chuck used to bodyguard for Charlie. And Charlie was saying how... this was after he got sacked off that show of his, right? And I was thinking, who are the biggest sort of like TV celebrity stars that have just self-destructed and totally cost themselves millions of dollars and millions of dollars? And two names came up in my head instantly that I could think of, and I'm sure there's a hell of a lot more. So if any of you have any, just let me know. But the two that I would say threw absolutely millions away was Charlie Sheen with 2.5 Men. They basically killed him off. Like, they did not fuck around at all. They killed him off. Remember when he was going on about the tiger blood and all that sort of stuff? And that Sheen dog? Anyway, and the second one, more recently, would have to be Roseanne. She totally fucked herself by getting, like, with those political comments or racism or whatever it was, that she fucked herself. And then they all went and did the other show, The Connors or whatever, which I watched the first series, I think. I thought it was quite good, but yeah. So they're my two big ones. I mean, how many millions of dollars did those guys give up by just not being able to keep their mouth shut or do the right thing? Wow, unbelievable. So anyway, over here in Australia, one of the biggest sports that I like to watch in where I am, or in Melbourne, it's Aussie. Well, it's sort of like Aussie Rules is a slang for it, which is where I got my podcast name from. But I spell it different. But they call it AFL. They're really big. That's really big in Melbourne, and they've got a Brisbane franchise and a Sydney and two Sydney franchises, I think. But mostly I follow rugby league. It's called rugby league or league. Or NRL, it's called the NRL, National Rugby League. And my team ended up not even making the top 8. The last final round was this weekend, so now they have the top 8. So from next week it'll be finals. And my team didn't make it, so I follow the Bulldogs, and because I grew up in that area and all that sort of stuff. So my team didn't make it. A few sad stories and teams that didn't make it, but I don't know who I'm barracking for now, but I'm looking forward, because usually when the finals start, you get fucking really good games. And I know that you guys over there, because I saw it on Twitter, I know you guys over there do the fantasy league or something, and I'm not really sure how it works. It's actually sounds quite complicated. And you'd have to know a fair bit about the game to get involved, I think, and I know nothing. The first year they did it, when I was still part of that community, I was going to join sort of thing, but the thing is, I just know nothing about those teams. Nothing. I couldn't even tell you a player. And I'm assuming it's the NFL or whatever. I'm assuming. I'm not even 100% sure on that. But I see a lot of talk on Twitter about it and this and that. So anyway, it looks fun. It's I guess as a community thing to do with your friends online, that's quite fun. It's like running a football comp. Well, I used to run a football comp where you would just tip the winners or whatever, and you'd put X amount in a week, like $1 a game sort of thing, and then winner take all at the end of the season. That was always fun. Gets a bit competitive, but and also tonight, in another hour or so, hour and a half or something like that, the F1's on. I love watching the F1. I like motor sports. Big on the V8 supercars. It's an Australian thing, but Formula One obviously is a world thing. They're racing tonight in Italy, and I found that I don't know if anyone watched the final qualifying, like Q3, where they all the cars didn't get round to the checkered flag. To the starting line with enough on the clock, like to do the lap. They all fucked around, because of the tow on the circuit. They all didn't want to basically go first. And only one car got over the line to start their like the final lap, and basically they came round and they all missed out by like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds or whatever, and there was a checkered flag, whatever. So that's such a like fuck up. I don't know if anything's going to come of it, but it was not very good for the viewer. Wouldn't be very good, because usually you go out with like, I think it was it's like a 1 minute 20 lap in Italy. I think is it in Hungary? And they all fucked around. They all went out with like a minute 40 or something. So they had heaps of time to get round, but they all fucked around and got in each other's way. They all basically stumbled over each other. So I thought it was a big fuck up. So the lap that they'd previously put in earlier in Q3, it just stood the same. Nothing changed. And the guy that got through was right down on the list, so that he basically wasn't going to get pole anyway. But I can't remember who it was. He didn't. He went round as fast as he could, but didn't improve. But yeah, it was just the weirdest thing. I haven't seen that in F1. I really haven't seen that shit in F1 for a long, long time. I thought that was really, really strange. So, what else? I've been listening to a lot of Periscopes, but I've also been watching like a lot of YouTube. I didn't realize how much good shit's on YouTube. Man, it's like Foxtel. It's just like, there's just so much stuff there. I think I might have told you guys about this last time, but there's a couple on there that have made a home out of containers and stuff like that, and they got this beautiful land and nice little dam or creek or whatever. And this guy, the guy is just so good with his hands. I mean, he's just, they're just so good. They, framing, doing slabs, putting piping in, putting gutters in, putting water tanks in, and plumbing. It's just fucking brilliant. Like, it's so good to have that knowledge. I got to do a bit of, every time I've got to do a bit of fucking, say, woodwork, we'll call it woodworking, carpentry. I don't like it, man. I don't have the skills. Like, I got basic skills, but I couldn't wire up something without the danger of me fucking killing myself. I'm not really good with some of that stuff. I know what I want to do, but I just don't have the hands to do it. I have the knowledge, and you can Google anything these days. Do it your own, fixer-uppers and all that sort of stuff. But I don't know. When you do it, it just sometimes it just doesn't come out the way, like, doesn't look professional. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist. If you can't do something and it comes out professional, I just won't do it. Like, I'll just pay someone else to do it, like pay a tradie to do it or whatever. But I do the gardens and the lawn mowing, and I'm doing a small garden at the side of the house and all that sort of stuff. And I've been a little bit lazy. I need to get back into it, but I will get back into it. So so I think, I don't know, what else have I got? I wrote a few things down. I think I've covered most of the things. There's one other thing I wanted to mention, but I don't know. Probably better off not to say anything, because as soon as you say something, they always take it the wrong way. A few weeks ago there, I saw, we used to have another we used to have a guy we used to be pretty tight with, talking and stuff like that. And we used to keep in touch, and it was me, obviously it was Jeff from Toronto, and then there was Fancy from Japan, I'm gonna say, but he says he's from the Philippines, but I don't really know. That's half of that's Fancy. And he went off on us like quite a few months ago, and basically like he just sort of says really negative, nasty things on his scopes, and then he leaves it for a day or two, and then he deletes the scope. So I don't have them because I couldn't be bothered with saving any evidence and saying, well, you said this, you said that, whatever. I just said good luck to you, Bale. Like, I just said to Jeff, I said, man, I can't do this anymore. I'm really sorry. I said, the guy's just like crazy. Just goes off on us, like he yelled at Jeff because, he wanted Jeff to go and do some video out of that friggin', that tall fucking skyscraper-ish looking thing in fucking Toronto or whatever. It looks very similar to Centrepoint Tower in Sydney. And Jeff said, "Oh yeah, I'll go down there and do that when it gets a bit warmer." Or anyway. So he had a beef with Jeff about that, and then he was just he was upset that everybody that he was doing all this sharing, I think he called it, and the others weren't. Well, I was just doing my podcast, and I would jump on a group Skype message with them, and we used to hang out in Rabbit like long time ago. And anyway, he just he would get on there and say, well, Casper talks about the same thing, he's boring, he's this, he's that, and okay, fine. And then Agent Mudd was we'd catch up with Agent Mudd every now and then. Jeff talks to Agent Mudd a fair bit. I haven't had the chance to talk to Agent Mudd that much, but he went missing there for a while, and I believe he showed back up on Twitter there a week or so ago, and I haven't seen him recently, but I think he still hangs out with the Kermit Town frogs or whatever. I think they finally worked out. And this, I did this a long time ago. I did this before even when Rabbit was going. I think they worked out that they can just run a Discord and they can all go in there and talk, which, people have been doing that for ages. That's how Jiminam and all that was doing his shows. He was running Discord. I got Discord, but I found that I tried Discord on a few shows, but I found that Skype was still coming through better, still sounded better. So, but I had Discord, and anyway, Fancy was still doing. He a few weeks ago he reached out or something. I listened to one of his SoundClouds, and he said something along the lines of, "I unblocked you guys." In other words, we're not supposed to be bothered by that, right? I unblocked you guys, and so I've extended the what do you call it, the olive branch or whatever, and I told you guys to add me on this other fucking Twitter, blah blah blah. Well, no, he blocked us, and that's it. It's over, Fancy. Just give it up, son. Don't wish any bad things, and I think maybe you are a little bit jealous of the beautiful Australian or Canadian lifestyle that we have, but I can't really do much about that, mate. I was born here, and this is what I know. So I haven't been over there. I haven't seen how bad it is or whatever. But I know Canada is very similar to me. It's been reading an article today that said that Canada was a nicer place to, or Canadians were better off than Americans now or something. So either, I don't know how they work that shit out, but yeah, it sounds like a decent place, actually, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, it's a fucking long way away to go for a holiday. So, and I've been concentrating my resources on paying a car and my house and doing renovations and different sorts of things around the house. So I'll be honest with you, I haven't been putting away for any holiday because I actually was going to go over there. But anyway, I'll start saving again and putting a few bucks away. I usually try to put like 50 or 75 bucks a week just away in a separate account, and then I just let it pile up and then decide what I'm going to do, where I'm going to go. That's the best way. I probably should be starting to take a few holidays. I have tons of leave. I work 38, 39, 40 hours a week, and I just struggle with the tiredness when I get home. So unfortunately, like, I see people that come home and then they get changed and they go out and do something, and I just can't do it. Too buggered. So I usually love to watch my recorded shows, and I download a lot of shows. I'm downloading Deadliest Catch and Fear the Walking Dead. I'm listening to Howard Stern, and I'm watching Aussie Gold Diggers, and I love NCIS, and lots of stuff, lots and lots of stuff. So, but anyway, I think I might end this podcast and go and get myself something to eat. I had a beautiful spa just a while ago. Like I said, I'm trying all my recovery methods to get fit for next Friday, and because at the moment I'm still limping on the right leg. I've got like a big bruise there. I can't believe I didn't even get. Actually, I even got penalised in that tackle. Like, I don't know how they fucking worked that one out, but anyway, doesn't matter. So anyway, I'm hoping that I might try to get in touch with a few more people. I have been talking to a few people on Twitter, and I keep in touch with a few people, and I might be able to get them to come on Skype with me and have a chat. But I'm more than happy just to sit and yarn about what I've been doing and all the things that are going on. So shout out there to Count Country, and we'll catch you next time on Aussie Rules.